This has been there, rock that episode 14. We have Prance. Who's this guy who just came back?
Hey,
Robbie,
hey,
Guess who's back?
Welcome back.
Stilo.
Welcome back.
We have Jason on the visuals, and I just posted the video to special ed, so check it out. It's up today. I finally had time to do it, so check it out. YouTube. Been there, rock that. Prance, how was your week?
Yo,
And that's a loaded question.
I
So,
see. So,
You know.
peace and love, everybody. Yo, my week was blessed. I mean, we set it off after the Ed podcast. We went down to Common Ground, which is in Meatpacking District, and been there, rock that. Plus, Keizo, plus Lyricist Lounge, Danny Castro had a great viewing party for special ed, which came off on TV1 Unsung, which was definitely a lot of an eye opener for a lot of people that wanted to know what happened with the situation with special ed, because he was definitely a great artist that was definitely recognized in his era, and he just disappeared out of nowhere. And people used to ask, dances or whoever was down with him, like, yo, what's going on with Ed or whatever, but he was kind of like dealing with it on his own, so we ain't really had no answers, so we was just out there, in limbo.
Yeah.
So everybody just had to move on their separate ways or whatever. That's what, became a Zhigge and stuff like that, starting their own group and stuff like that. But after that, Friday, though, Yo MTV Raps 30th anniversary. It was filmed live. They gave everybody 7 minutes, and Special Ed did his thing. I was out there with, my old dance partners, Romy Rome, and welcoming them back, my brother Keizo,
You
that
already know.
from the Zhigge tribe,
Look at that.
from my high school era, Chelsea Vocational. We still solid, and definitely an entrepreneur with the level barbershops and stuff like that. I always big them up as much as I can worldwide. You know what I mean? So definitely, Robbie, what's good, man?
why the hell did Prance go before me?
Yeah, I mean,
Every time, I thought I had a cool
listen.
week.
No, you had a
I was
cool- you
in
had a cool
Madrid. I
week.
was in Berlin.
Look at
Toledo.
you.
It's cool. I wasn't blessing the Barclays stage.
Listen,
I mean,
you're doing your numbers, but you know what I'm saying? It's a different way of doing your numbers.
yeah. No, I was out in Europe. It was cool.
Mhm.
I lost a lot of sleep trying to keep up with the NBA.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Lost sleep in multiple ways watching that. That was hard. Shout out to Jr. But
we appreciate you.
Nah. But yeah, no, it was cool. I was out there, just eating, living life. I like seeing the world, seeing parts I didn't see before. I caught the Maccabee Medical Monday show in Berlin. So why not? Shout out to Kakumba and all the classic Medical Monday tracks. So yeah, no, I'm back in New York. I'm happy to be home, and
Welcome back.
I'm mad I missed the MTV rap show. It sounds like it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a great one. It was a
Yeah.
great one.
Well, you can't be there and then fill up your passport at the same time with them stamps. And I think the stamps definitely trump over
Hey,
the Barclays.
I'll
You know
catch
what I mean?
I'll catch the 35th anniversary. I'll
Say
be
no
in
more.
town for that one.
There you go.
There you go. Stilo.
Oh boy. See, now I have to follow both of these guys. Let's get back to the real world. Week was slow motion. What'd I do? I really ain't do much. Just hung out at the crib, chilled, kind of was beating the streets, doing my hustle thizzle. What else? Yeah, normal thing. See, I really didn't do nothing. So I got nothing to tell you.
Listen, I didn't do nothing either.
So,
I gotcha.
well, no, I'll say this much. Pusha T's album,
Yuck.
I was enjoying that over the week. And then this guy, Black Thought.
Steve, what about that denim class you went to?
Oh, thank you.
See, he be acting like he don't be doing shit.
All right, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, I actually went to. Thank you, Prince.
No doubt.
I appreciate
That's
it.
how we got the
Well,
Flatbush
I
corner.
was. You see how I was out in these streets, but I was doing a lot. I actually took up a denim workshop class, honing my denim skills, my denim knowledge, and hopefully develop a denim brand.
Indeed.
it was a cool class. Learned the art of boro mending, shikashikyu. Fucked up my Japanese. Knitting, which is like an old school style of preserving your precious denims and outfits. Cool class. Shout out to Matt, who was our teacher that day. He's great at his craft with the stitching. Check him out. I'll put up his Instagram info on Been There Rock That website. But other than that, I'm out here with my family, the crew. Been There Rock That. Conversation with Style, you already knew.
True.
John Green, your turn.
Man. Well, let's see. First of all, I was there Sunday, the special ed thing. Shout out to special ed. It was a dope event. I get to see Prance do his dance moves when he was like 12.
Listen.
Yo, this dude is crazy, man. Like, and there's one move I'm gonna talk about, but we're gonna talk about from the Friday show because he's doing all these shows now. He's a superstar now. During the week, listen, Prance is he's in a class by himself now. But anyway, during the week, I was talking to you on the phone, remember, and I bumped into Donald Glover.
That's right.
Childish Gambino. That was a pretty interesting interaction. He was, he's a little bit out there, but he's cool. He's cool. What else did I do? And Friday, I went to the UMTV Raps thing, and I got, another big shout out to Special Ed and his whole crew for helping me get in there because it was a madhouse. It was just artists everywhere. Like anybody can think of. You walk down the hall, it's this one. You walk down the hall, it's that one. But when Prance got on stage and he started getting them dances on. He got this dance, guys.
I already know which one you
The basketball one.
Yeah. That's classic.
Yo, Ed said the lyric to it, and they started doing it. I said, yo, that shit is crazy. I was watching it at a viewing thing inside the Barclays, and when he did it, everybody was like, yo, that shit is great. Like, you know what I'm saying? The girl from Jeanne was there, and Steve LaBelle was there, Special K, he was there. And they all just was like, yo, like, this guy thought it was like 1970 or something.
That just showing your skills, just crossing over dudes on these stages.
Yo, that move was crazy, but that's why I want to give Prance his props.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Because, I mean, you know what I'm saying? To do this at his age, you know what I'm saying? At his advanced age, I should say. He's not like he's 60, but he's getting there.
But that's in his blood, though. You know
what I'm saying?
He
was breaking it down like he was fucking 20 years old. Yeah. So for us 40-year-olds in the house, we're like, yo.
I mean, at the same time, it's like you don't really get an invitation on the Barclays Center stage.
Yeah, I saw that.
And especially when Yo MTV Raps is recognizing your efforts.
Yeah.
Because, it took a while getting out of the club dancing into video dancing, into being touring dancing.
And now
it's levels to that, There's a lot of people that we left that was probably even better than us that we left in the clubs, and we was touring and making money and being recognized, but...
Listen, all I'm saying, I'm stealing that move. I'm gonna get in the club and I'm gonna start crossing people over, like woo, like just catching it.
That's it, baby.
But I thought Ed had one of the best sets. I thought Nice and Smooth.
No doubt.
Anybody, I don't know.
Cornbread and
just
the
like
IBM dances and the IOU dances and Mike Swift and my boy E Bug. They ripped it.
Killed it.
Yeah, I just like the dancing aspect of, what I'm saying, dancing. You got the hip hop going. I just think it's a bigger display of, what I'm saying, of hip hop rather than just the, what I'm saying, the lyricist just, rhyming. I don't know. That's just me. But it was a great show. Everybody did their thing. I was glad I got to go. And that was it for me for the week.
No doubt.
It was a long week.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, we have a special guest. He is part of the Zhigge tribe.
Yes, sir.
He actually danced with Prance as his partner when Special Ed was doing their thing and running around and doing them numbers.
They got history, boy.
The one and the only, Kzo.
What's good? Been there, rock that.
Mega Mel. What's good, family?
Oh man, thank you for having me on the show. I like what you brothers are doing.
And another thing, Kzo is an entrepreneur too. We'll get into that.
Yes,
That's a very important because he's doing this damn thing in these streets.
True indeed.
True that.
Stay chasing the bag.
So, how are you doing, Kzo?
You know, I'm healing up pretty good after Friday's show.
Yeah, listen, he was out there too, man. He was out there busting them moves. I was like, yo, these guys, man.
Yeah, pretty quick recovery.
Sure indeed.
So so were you super sore or was it just like
No, but I was winded for sure. You know, after like you know, second song, I was like, woo. I started remembering that, you know.
Listen, that 8-minute set felt like 20 minutes, right?
Definitely, man.
Yeah, because anytime you on stage, because I've been on stage quite a few times. I mean, the time goes very slow.
Yeah.
When you're doing things, and you're thinking it's over, and it's like, oh, it's only like 2 minutes in. You're like, fuck.
Those
Sure
lights
did.
are hot.
Definitely.
It reminded me of like the first few shows when we went out on tour with Special Ed, because we dance in videos and we dance in a club, but like the first few shows we were winded, and we was like, you know, he had like a 30-minute set,
Right.
and like you're pretty much dancing for 30 minutes.
And you giving it
But
your all.
I think that's when we were in the best shape of our life, though, when we were on those tours.
Yeah, I asked Prince this morning. I was like, yo, do you lift weights, or are you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you stay in shape? He's like, yo, what you told me?
Nah, the
cardio,
best
or-
thing is the cardio
Yeah,
and
cardio,
stretching for dancers. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, building mass. I mean, if you doing a lot of floor moves and stuff like that, you need that kind of upper body strength.
Power
but with
moves.
dancing, you just need your legs to be able to move on time and be sharp with it. You know, that's what. And you know, even if you get restless, like just try to keep a smile on your face and bright-eyed, where you ain't looking drained to the audience. You know what I'm saying?
Little poker face.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say I'm glad they didn't get no close-ups, because I was I was definitely looking drained.
But wait.
I wasn't even looking at the crowd. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
But look, listen, you had to warm up at the unsung viewing. You was
Yeah.
dancing there.
Just I was mostly two-stepping it though.
Listen, two-stepping is still dancing, brother. There's a lot of two-steppers in this room.
Yeah.
But,
I'm like 1.5 stepping out here.
Oh,
I still got
yeah.
that bad foot.
Yeah, we gotta help you out there, buddy. But Keizo, so did it bring you back to, like, you know what I'm saying, like when you was on stage Friday, to like, yo, it like brought you back to like when you and Prance was doing your thing with Ed, and you know what I'm saying, and the whole Ziggy thing, like, was it like refreshing for you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Definitely, when we walked around the side of the Barclay, that was on Dean, and we started bumping into, you know, guys that we came up in the business with, and I was like, Prance, we gotta get. I really felt refreshed. Like I miss this. I miss performing. I miss the excitement.
Right.
I miss, you know, being an artist and traveling. It's a beautiful lifestyle, you know, and I think that's why people pursue it, and people might be like, oh, yeah, washed up, and you see these guys pursuing it for the rest of their lives sometimes, because it's a beautiful life, man. You get to travel the world, perform on stage, people cheer for you, and you get paid. Like,
It's a
what?
super- li-
You
listen,
know what I mean?
It's a super high, man. Like,
Yeah.
to say, yo, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to Vegas for this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's dope. You
Yes,
know?
it is.
It's a drug in itself.
It is.
And that's why, you know, they have quote unquote starving artists.
Yeah.
They'll starve until they get back to that point.
Yeah. Bills got to be paid, though.
Mhm. But even go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Bills got to still be paid. At the end of the day, I mean, first you in there to get the recognition, but then sometimes after a while, when you know you are on the roads, you start building your family, you start
Right.
having your kids, and you know the bills. You on the road, but you still got rent and stuff and bills at home, so you still got to handle that and balance it off. If outside life ain't dealing with the bills inside, something wrong with that balance at a certain age. As a youth, it's all fun and games, but when you get to a certain age, like everything got to level up.
It's got to make sense.
So
Yeah.
that be kind of the struggle with dancers and stuff like that, because the artists now look at the dancers like, Dad, you want more money? I'm trying to get more money. I know you deserve it, but I can't give it to you at this time. So it'd be a back and forth, and maybe I don't need you for this show, so I could get more money. But at the same time, we are the show, all collectively as the DJ, the dancer, and the
all the
MC.
elements, yeah.
That's what the audience want to see, and that's what the promoter really want to pay for, not just you on stage by yourself. So
And that's the prime example. Good segue.
Thank you.
That's how ended up stopped dancing for special ed.
Right.
And just to make a long story short, and don't get me wrong, love ed, love the opportunity. I would keep it all the way funky, you know. We started dancing for ed. Was it '89?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was in college at Brooklyn Tech. You know, we went to Chelsea. He did the carpentry. I did the computer repair. So to follow on with the computer thing, you know, back then they were selling you. Computers is the wave of the future. If you can fix computers, you'll always have a job. So, you know, I went for the computer tech thing. And then I pursued it further by going to Brooklyn Tech College.
No, you went to New York City Tech.
No, that's New York City Tech? Yeah, okay.
Got you.
Yes, how long ago
Today,
it was.
man.
You know what I mean? So
I got him.
Listen,
but
that
I
Flatbush corner.
went to that school, you know, to pursue it. And that's around the time we got the audition and opportunity to dance with Ed. And I finished my first semester. I left my financial aid and everything. I was like, yeah, going on tour. You know what I mean? But we were dancing since high school. You know, that's how we actually met. We kind of connected. First, when we met, it was a little bit of beef. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we started, you know, I showed him an Uptown move. He showed me a Brooklyn move. And we've been family ever since. You know what I mean? The first person we actually danced for was your man, what was his name? Fizz or something like that?
Yeah, Fizz D.
Fizz D. You know what I'm saying? So we started off as dance partners before special ed. So it was '89. We get the opportunity to go to the audition for special ed. Segue through Little Sean, correct?
Right.
So we go. It was like a bar or something that we went to.
Yeah, it
right?
was Mr. Archer, which is special ed's father's social club.
Okay, we go there. We dance for Ed. Ed was like, bet, I like y'all. Let's do it. So, like, it was so fast. It's like we did the Magnificent video, how I remember it, and then we went on tour. And I had never even been on a plane yet. You know what I mean? So I'm 18. I never been on a plane. You know, my mom's got 6 kids. You know, we not 6 kids traveling on the plane. You know, most traveling I had done since then was like Fresh Air Fun Camp. Feel me?
Right.
So, I mean, like the first 3 shows, it was like, I don't remember all 3, but I know it was Miami, Puerto Rico, and something else. You know what I mean? So that's why I give, you know, love, respect to Ed, because that was an opportunity that I cherish, you know? But I was a barber at that time, too. I was cutting hair in the barbershop since 1987.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like I was the youngest in charge in the barbershop. You know what I mean? I caught a lot of flack because people was like, I'm not letting this little kid cut my hair, but I got through it. It was cut. I used to cut kid in my house.
Yes.
Friends, family. So I'm always cutting hair on the side, you know, going on tour, come back. So traveling with Ed was beautiful, and I did that for a year before we ran into a little thing. Because it wasn't about the money. It was about the opportunity, experience, and I loved it. You know what I mean? But after like a year, you know, the paper, I was like, yo, it's time for us to get a little raise. You know what I'm saying? I'm an entrepreneur, always been from a kid. When I was a kid, my first sales was I was selling hamsters. You know what I mean?
God damn.
Beating Petland discount price. You feel me? So I'm from selling hamsters. I was painting characters on people's pants for money. So I always been about making my money on my own. And it was cool to dance for Ed. I had a great time, but after a year, I was like, yo, paper. You know what I mean? And it might not have been handled the right way. You know what I mean? So, but I decided to like, I was making more money in the barbershop. You know what I mean? So after a year of traveling and having a great time, I was like, yo, you know, when we gonna get that raise? You know what I mean?
Go down.
And that's kind of like where I decided, you know, well, I'm gonna just do my thing in the shop. And, you know, I've traveled for like a year and it was great and I loved it. But to me, you know, I felt like I deserved more. And maybe he wasn't able to provide more and maybe it all wasn't handled the right way. But we still remain cool and all that. But that's where I stopped dancing, you know what I mean? Because the money, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, as a barber, you could make
bread.
$100 at minimum. You could make $100 a day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we was getting like $100 a show, and it was cool because sometimes we had 3 shows a week. But for the most part, you know, I was just like the paper, you know.
Yeah, because because I think, you know, when you have that entrepreneur mentality,
Right.
And Ed is an entrepreneur too,
No
because
question.
he's his own business.
Right.
No
Yeah.
question.
So I think when you have that two minds like
Okay.
that, you were already like, listen, I gotta make this money.
Right.
You know, if dancing ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna open another door for myself, which was the barber shop stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, like you said, it wasn't no beef.
Right.
But I just think when you have two strong minds like that, you had to go your way and he had to go his
Right.
way.
Right.
And in the end, it's still, you know what I'm saying? It's still,
No doubt, it's
still
still
came
all
out.
love. You know what I mean? And I still thank him all the time for the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, it was great. And but then, you know, we still got an opportunity to do our own thing as Zhigge. So the allure of still being in the business was there. I mean, if you look at me and Prance's yearbooks, like people in the book was like, can't wait to see you on the big screen. You feel me? He got best dressed in the school in the yearbook, and I got most creative.
Oh, wow. I'm
feel me?
surprised about that.
But, you know,
Flatbush
so
Corner.
people could see it.
They already saw the destiny.
Yeah, from high school, they could see that we was where we were going.
So Kayla, so talk more about the whole Ziggy thing. Like,
Okay.
That's what
how
I
did
want to
it?
get into.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
Ziggy
Like,
story.
Okay.
how did that come about? Like, because that was after the special ed stuff. You know.
Well, we were Zhigge from high school. You know, it was a little word thrown around in Brooklyn, and how the way I remember it is, it's three of us really. It's like the three amigos.
No doubt.
It's Kevin Brown, you know what I'm saying? Basir,
Shout out
France,
to Basir.
you know what I'm saying? And myself. We started Zhigge, you know what I mean? And that was, Basir brought that word, you know what I'm saying, to us. And we was like, yeah, that's because, I mean, we was like the flyest dudes in the school, you know what I mean?
Right.
Prance had it. I brought my little uptown flavor, you know what I'm saying? And we went from Jabot to Willie Webb. We was wearing Benetton. We was wearing Liz Claiborne polo. I mean, we was fly. You know what I
all
mean?
over the place.
I had money. I was cutting hair. So for a kid in high school, making like, and I was working when school was in. I was working Fridays and Saturdays, and I still had like a couple $100 a week in my
that
pocket.
age,
You know what I mean?
that's real
So
money.
that's money. So we, you know, senior year, we balled out.
Good, yeah. You already.
We did like 2 weeks straight, everything brand new, every
doubt.
day.
All day.
So, you know, so we really did our numbers with that, and the rest of the people in the school kind of followed suit. We had like a crew that would consider themselves Zhigge at that time. So we kept the name. We moved from dancing in school to dancing as a group. Then it was Keizo, Prancer, Sound, and Sways with Tonga. So it was the four of us as a dance group. And when we got the opportunity to dance for Ed, it kind of broke the group.
Right.
But what we did do when we were on tour, we met YZ. And YZ was like, yo, I need dancers like y'all. And we was like, we got you.
Right.
So we got Sound and Sways the job with YZ. Then all four of us were on tours. And that's how that thing. And so when the music thing started, you know, Sound was like the most, you know, lyrical at the time. I guess he was influenced by YZ, and he started kind of like writing a little bit before us. But that's what we were always Zhigge. You know what I mean? So when we got the opportunity to do the deal, we went with Zhigge. I mean, I was putting a Z in the back of everybody's head in the barbershop.
Word.
We went to Japan. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew us. Just the IOU dancers. It was mop tops. It was
Heavy D dancers.
yeah. So we were in the clubs, and everybody knew those groups, like 5, 6 dudes. Those are Zhigge dancers, and that's what they do. And you know what I mean. So we always had the Zhigge thing, and we got the opportunity to get a deal. We did that, and we did the music, and you know. So,
Salute to our producer Salam Remy.
no doubt.
Salute to Van Gibbs.
Yeah.
You know.
And I still cut Salam's hair to this day. If he needs something special, like when he just did, not Jimmy Kimmel, he did the other guy. What's the other one with that got the roots playing?
Oh,
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. He's like, hey, I need that special joint. You know what I mean? He'll fly me to Miami if he got a cover.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So yeah.
Because even from a fashion standpoint, like, and me and Prance talk about this all the time, you guys, even with like Polo Ralph Lauren and all the retro shit that's going on now, you guys were the first one that introduced the 92 line to hip hop. You know,
Big
from that,
time.
you know, from the Toss It Up video. So, you know, I think you guys don't get that credit
Not at all.
because everybody just focused on, you know, the usual suspects and whatever. But
They were way late though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
compared
If
to us.
people really look at it, you guys had that video out way before any other these other guys was
I was like
rocking polo.
92.
Yeah, like you.
And everything we had on our album cover and single covers was
Yeah,
polo.
that's what I'm saying.
Pretty much. We rocked that. And Prance introduced me to the low.
Right.
He introduced me to the low when we started hanging. And I never had any polo until I saw Prance, and I was like, and Prance was banging it. I mean, Prance, he was advanced because he like, I remember one time he came to school and he had, it wasn't a rugby, but it was the polo shirt. He had the double polo shirt on with the other collar coming out. And I'm like, damn. He was like, yeah, I seen that in a magazine or some shit.
That's the
You know what I'm saying?
That's
This kid,
That's the layering. He was doing his homework.
Yeah, Prance closet was crazy.
No,
I mean,
it's crazy.
yeah. Me and him used to lend the rest of the crew clothes and shit, but to me, Prance is the best dressed in Zhigge, and maybe I came second. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Prance was
France is gonna take that one.
to this day, man. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
listen,
and then
Prance.
he got the model type body, nigga like 6'3". You know what I'm saying? So it's shit he could wear that a
That
short
we-
nigga
yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah.
It ain't gonna come off that way. So he always
I know.
just killed it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Keizo, this is gonna be like his favorite podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking at John right
know,
now. I was
yeah.
like, we won't hear
here
this.
we
But see, one thing I do is I keep it real.
You
You know,
gotta
I
give
keep
credit
it.
where credit is
No
due.
question,
Because
no
I
question.
always share with Prance that story. For me, and I think we built on that. I was like, if it wasn't for him, truth be told, I would have not known polo on the level without you guys. I'll put Prance as credible, but Zhigge as a crew. Y'all took me to the whole next level. Like, whatever y'all had on, I had to have at that moment.
I mean, we up to this day, we walk through the streets. A lot of people, like at a low event or whatever, would thank us for even starting their collection or whatever, just off the influence of the video.
Facts.
And it wasn't just we was wearing just polo, we was dancing in the polo. All this expensive clothing, but we dancing. They like, yo. And we've been doing that since high school days, dancing in the clubs, like just all over the floor with some expensive shit, and people looking like, damn, I need that in my life. And these dudes just all over the floor doing whatever they want to do with
Even
it.
the name of the group. I used to always say Zhigge. If you ever really analyze that word, that's fly. That
Yeah.
means to me, I was growing. That was just when a dude was like, man, you fly. Yeah, I'm Zhigge, nigga.
It
like,
was-
yo.
And it was the way we were pronouncing it. Because when Basir brought it, he was saying Zhigge. You know what I'm saying? And I remember asking my teacher, how would you spell Zhigge? And he's the one that said Z-H-I. You know what I'm saying? So it turned to Zhigge. You know what I mean? And maybe it was Zhigge. I don't know. But people get that confused. You know what I mean? But that's where... And the lost footage of... the BET when we did the lifeguard shit. We did the lifeguard shit like we did the 92 shit
Facts.
on what was that show called on Sunday? Teen Summit.
Summit.
Teen Summit.
Yeah.
If anybody get that footage,
I
we
remember.
killed that lifeguard
that
shit.
was with Sherry
No,
Carter?
people don't really know. Probably
Yeah.
the lifeguard line didn't last that long,
Yeah.
but that shit was crazy. Those
Yep.
hats,
Them long bills.
yeah, it was crazy.
Listen,
we
Naughty
killed
Club.
that.
Listen, I got friends in Japan that they basically they stop your video, like toss it up, frame by frame to see what pieces y'all had in there.
Yeah, to try to
And
find
then they collect every piece, and because some of the pieces they didn't bring back out that are in that video,
Right.
and even with the raking in the dough,
yeah.
there's a lot of pieces in there that people was like, yo,
you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna listen to this now,
oh yeah, because
and they're gonna go do your
Listen,
homework.
but
Give
no-
credit to my Zhigge crew. Fuck y'all
Exactly.
niggas.
Nobody rock polo like we did.
nah.
And
If we would have had a third video, forget about it.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's the whole thing. And the thing is, it ain't even that the group was just wearing it. Even the extras in the video,
Yeah.
people we invited knew to come low down. So they just helped us catapult where we wanted to be as a group. You know what I mean? With that movement. Shout out to the almighty low lives,
2 L's up all day, every day.
because without my fallen soldiers and all of them, I wouldn't even want to do that. Peace to my OG B-Bob Low, that's
salute.
down with Zhigge. Peace to Marquez, that's down with Zhigge, and the rest of my crew that's down, that been moving this and still waving that Zhigge banner no matter what goes on. That's what we do, and that's what we will always do.
Yeah, because this is why I always say, like, Ralph Lauren as a company, these are the people you need to gravitate towards, and not this clown bullshit they got doing. You know what I'm saying? Like people that actually in the culture brought your stuff out there to where still people are still looking at videos and stuff that you guys did. Like the stuff that you guys did is gonna live on way before you guys, you know what I'm saying, are here, which is a beautiful thing.
And sought after.
You know what I'm saying?
Videos are sought after. Like, real talk. I was thinking about it over. I was like, you guys gotta find a way to trademark all y'all shit.
Yo, because it's crazy.
For
Like,
real.
even, shout out to my dude, Face Dogs. Like, people still be like, I get paid and you get slayed. They love that.
Yeah.
It's like quotable lines.
Yeah,
no
real
doubt.
talk.
And not only were we wearing it, I mean, you could listen to the lyrics. We were mentioning it in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Other people might have been wearing it, but we were really like, we were even promoting it in our music.
Like the Timberland joint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uptown.
Boy, I tell you, listen, you guys was a problem.
And one thing I want to say, because I heard y'all mentioning in regards to how people feel about the retro stuff.
Yeah,
You
that was
know
my
what I
next question. It was coming.
mean? Okay, good.
Coming.
Good.
So
We
you
on
can
the same
speak on
page.
it.
Segue
Speak on it.
perfect.
Speak on it.
No
A
doubt.
point
Speak
that
on
I
it.
want to bring up in regards to that is I think also, along with everything that's been said, that I think people go retro when they start to lose creativity.
Thank you.
And I think either Polo needs to get some new designers from somewhere else or something. And I think that's a reason to go retro because you're missing the creativity. Either they left and started their own brands or disgruntled. I heard back in the days like Puffy took one of Polo's thing when he started his brand. But I think that's when you go retro when you're not getting the creativity because when I go searching for low, where's their new line that everybody wants? You know what I mean? Like where's their stadium and flag or where's their P-Wing? Where's their new line that everybody wants?
It's the new double RL all over prints. It's stuff like that.
But
it's
that's
certain
what I was
pieces
gonna
that
say.
have their new designs, but they sort of capture the same essence. Like
Yeah.
there are certain things that I'm not fully opposed to the retro. So John's looking like he's gonna take my head off right now.
Yeah.
I have my opinion.
I was gonna
too.
wear the retro plate just to piss him off today. I didn't even know this is how we were getting down today.
And I would have just blasted you.
And I still got my 1992 stadium.
That
hoodie.
was
There
my
you go.
next
There you go.
question.
Yeah.
The
Get 'em,
original
Tazel, get 'em.
pieces from the video, are they archived somewhere?
Well,
They're
I
in a safe
have
place?
my 92 stadium hoodie. I have my pink safari vest.
Uh-huh.
And I have my ski vest, the ski vest from the Raking in the Dough
Little book,
video.
Yeah.
And my wool red vest from the Raking in the Dough video. And it's crazy. I gave my younger cousin my polo bear hat and a lot of pieces I gave to family members. And I remember I asked him for that wool bear hat back. He was like, nah.
You see the value in it now. Word.
I gave a lot of those pieces away, but I had to keep that 92 hoodie. I had to keep that because that safari vest was expensive, and my mom was like, "Really?" You know what I mean? I was like, "Yo, I gotta have it." You know what I mean? So I got a few pieces.
Yeah.
Well, but see, that's the whole thing. Like, listen, the retro stuff is nice. I'm not gonna front because I was even telling Prance, even when we was at the Barclays and we all had on polo, the pictures we took, the colors pop. Like, like it's dope when
It's
you have it all.
remnants of those eras.
Yeah, when you have it all together and stuff. But it's not it's not it's not the original shit. Like I'm not gonna collect a whole closet full of retros. Fuck out of here. Robbie.
Whoa,
You know
hold
what
on.
I'm
I
saying?
got
Well, in
pieces
defense-
about as old as me. I'm not saying.
Listen,
I
it
got
don't
everything.
matter. Do your
Robbie
do,
said you got to mix it up.
Listen.
Yeah.
Do your groundwork. Do your homework. You got eBay. Fucking get you some classic shit. Fuck all this fucking.
I got some.
I'm
classic shit.
gonna go to this store and buy this. This shirt. I'm not. See, I almost blew up the store.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm just saying sometimes it's nice to pop a tag rather than have a $5,000 T-shirt with a yellow neck. Like
Listen.
sometimes
Listen, but
people are
that's-
out here taxing for
listen,
the original pieces.
but that's
right?
part of the
Facts.
allure of collecting.
That's a beautiful thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a collector, you looking for the exquisite items, and they're not going to be 100% new.
Right.
Sure.
But that's the part of being a collector. You're
That's
searching.
The whole purpose of
You know,
collect.
that's the whole purpose. If the purpose is for me to go fucking to Macy's and buy a $55 retro, then fuck it. Then that's what it is. Then I don't need to collect. I could just, get paid and go to fucking Macy's. That's not being a collector, and that's when people got it twisted.
But for a lot of collectors at the same time, like when they get frustrated with the retro, they move on. Like for instance, like Stilo, like he got frustrated with what Ralph and the designers was doing
that's
with
why
the
they
blue
bought the
label,
build.
so he had to take his funds that he was spending for clothing and go to Double RL. Which is keeping it still under the umbrella,
I'm
but
still
he had to
low.
level up.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
that double L stuff is
So
nice.
maybe
though. I ain't
for
gonna front.
certain
That's where
low
everything's at, man.
connoisseurs, they need to be on some purple label or you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't want to get on purple label because it's like a T-shirt is $1,000.
But even with that's why I wanted to go with what Kamal was saying, because I always use that term modern vintage now.
Mhm.
It's like we in the era now where designers aren't creative in the low, I feel in the low team. So they have their lines that I see that they want to concentrate on that's kind of out the loop, but use the movement to kind of like profit off of.
Of course.
They don't care about if it's not so. They know there's a community that will buy this shit, But for me, it was kind of like our logo, been there, rock that. I
Right.
didn't need it no more.
Mm,
So that's why I had, like Prance said, I had to go somewhere else to get that experience back. So it's like, oh, this is a piece I know no one will probably go for because everybody's over there. So when I step out on some new shit, you ain't gonna see, no disrespect, 500 people with the same
Sure
shit.
is.
Right.
Nah, that's what it is. Because and because it's 500 people, because it's so accessible, because it ain't even at the Low Mansion and at
Right.
Lord and Taylor and Saks and these type of exclusive stores. You got them at Jimmy Jazz and
Right.
elsewhere, where now you make it at a dime a dozen. It's going off 40% off for everything. People is posting and the social media is helping it. They just like, yo, how much you pay for yours? Don't go to no
Thank you.
resellers. Go
And
right here
that's
to Jimmy
exactly
Jazz.
the
So now
science
everybody
of it.
flocking, copping, and now like matter of fact, Robbie just showed me this picture. Bootsy,
Lil
Lil
Bootsy
Bootsy
Lil
with the
Bootsy.
had,
family.
had his
with the
whole
fam.
family with the retro.
Yeah. And you know what? And like I said,
Wait, and you think that's cool?
No.
I didn't say anything
it's
about
just,
it.
That's what Stilo is saying. That 500 million people got the same ITs on because it's in Marshalls.
Well, my question is Jimmy Jazz getting big enough to order enough to make a difference for Ralph to sell it to them?
well, I'll tell
Because that's the thing that.
Well, they just have a account for the retro stuff, not the regular
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
They got small like regular pieces too. It's not, but I mean, like Steve said, like everything about Double RL is not where Ralph's making their money. They're probably losing a lot of money on
Yeah,
producing
they-
that brand because
true.
of the quality of the pieces
It's next level.
and how everything's handmade and everything they're doing there. But that's where the juice is with
Yeah,
Ralph now.
that's.
I mean,
This everything I got on except this is Double RL.
right.
It's because Double RL is kind of like the mature polo, kind of like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like if you don't want to be gaudy, and it's good to be gaudy sometimes, but it's kind of like where
It's the everyday wear.
Yeah.
Also, I think again it goes back for me. I think I'm in that age now. I used to always tell the story. One day I was rocking my Crayola vest with the long bill and everything, and I had a full hair. I ain't ashamed. I dye my beard every so often, but my beard was
Oh, look
white.
at you.
I was just like, I look crazy. Let me switch it up, and then and that goes back to what I said. Is like it was just a growth for me in the passion I have for looking fly, the polo brand and everything. Because we can't. For me, I didn't want to stay stuck there because now everybody's coming up that didn't have appreciation for that era. That's why, I feel like
Or the budget.
or the budget. That's why I feel like a guy like someone like Prance, John, you, who have taken the time to appreciate that brand for whatever the culture was for you, to broaden that, and then it's kind of like it devalues your collection in a way, and takes away from that time, that S and that movement. So now every Tom, Dick, and Harry's walking around like they've been there and rocked that. They did it.
So that's that. Do you think Ralph is producing a lot of the retro pieces in order to intentionally devalue the things that people have, the original pieces? Like, do you think they're like for the collectors who have been, hoarding the stuff for years, who have pristine collections that are valued at whatever price you want to put them at?
Yes, of course he's doing that because of the fact that you got to see the type of symbols that he's bringing out. Those was hard to find pieces.
Very.
Cross flag, the crest.
CP93.
Like, people used to beg for that crestness.
Facts.
Everybody.
Facts.
And they knew it was a woman's thing. Like, double X people asking for, I just need a medium. I'm going to wear a blazer over it. You ain't going to see my arms.
I'll stretch it.
Looking like a belly shirt. Just to be able to... But now he made it in the sizes for everybody to cop, and he dropped it immediately, like 2 months after it was on Macy's still.
Yeah.
Flooded the gates with it. So then that definitely depreciated. Whoever ran off with those prices from back in the day, like $3-4 grand for
easy.
a crest knit. That, you ain't getting that no more for them.
Nope.
So that's what he did. As soon as you drive off the car lot,
Yeah.
it depreciates.
Was it a money grab?
I think
Definitely.
Listen, I think what the problem is everything just oversaturated. It's just too much of everything out right now. So of course it's a money grab because they have shareholders, they have stockholders, and they're just like, yeah, we're making money hand over fist. We're just gonna keep on bringing this shit out every quarter.
And the stock's up like
And it's doubled.
It's doubled over the
went
last
from,
year.
like,
Yeah.
Well, I think that they could blame that on Jordan. Everybody, it's the same. It's a
Yeah, it's the same
copycat
thing,
of
yeah.
people waiting online to get a cheaper
It's
sneaker
a whole hype beef
that
movement.
they brought back out, and I mean it's clear and evident.
The
and-
twos aren't handmade
Yeah, well-
Italian leather now,
Yeah.
but the price is like 3 times what the original MSRP was.
Exactly.
Well,
Low quality, high priced.
Hey.
the thing with fashion is everybody copies off of everybody. It's just like they tweak this or bring this out, or bring this color out because this one brought this one out. It's just a dog eat dog world, as I say.
Right.
But Keizo, you have businesses.
Yeah, I was
So,
segueing
plural.
into level.
Let's get into that. So because you're a fellow entrepreneur. Let's talk about your businesses. How'd you get into? Well, we know how you got into the whole barber thing, but now you have multiple barber shops.
Right.
Just get into like the whole genre of how you started that, and
I think most people, when they're barbers, is their dream to open up a barbershop. I'm the type of personality that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I opened my first shop in 1996. It was June 15th, 1996. That was like 2 years after, the Zhigge thing.
Right.
We were still trying to get back in there, but I had to go back to the shop. And the funny thing is I was in the front of the shop when I left, and we had a big celebration party when we were like, listen, we're going on tour, Zhigge, I'm going to hang up the clippers. And everybody was happy for me, and I was gone for about 2 years, 2.5 years, but after sitting on the bench for a while, I was like, yo, I got to go back to that shop, And it was, it was a little hard, because people like, yo, what happened to your career? Da, 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 da. You ain't raking in the dough no more, good thing.
Man,
Yo, it was a good thing we didn't have social media,
That's
because
that
they would have
bullshit.
been killing us, right?
That's that bullshit.
Yeah, so, but I'm a humble dude, and I keep it real, and I went back to the shop and asked for my job back. And I had to go in the back of the shop where the girls was, because that was the only chair that was open. You know what I mean? So I went back and I grinded back to some of my clients I lost. But I grinded. I got back to the front of the shop, and in 2 years after work going, I even tried to go back to college. You know what I'm saying? I went back to BMCC, and you know what I mean. But I couldn't focus.
Right.
I was
not after
I
all
was
of that.
smoking weed, and
Exactly.
you know what I mean. I was
Man.
like,
Had all them things walking around.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I know
Exactly.
That school
BMCC.
is crazy distracting.
Notorious for that, boy.
Yeah, so like in 2 years, 2-3 years, I opened up my first shop with my brother Larry. Because when I first started in like '87
Shout
in the
out
shop,
Larry, good dude.
and my cousin, you know what I mean? Us three put our papers together, and the funny thing is that I end up buying or getting the storefront from my teacher. The first shop I worked in, it was called Westside Barbershop. It's on 125th Street and St. Nicholas. An older guy by the name of Mr. Willie Lothar, he owned it. But Gene is the one who gave me the job, and I apprenticed under him. My brother went to the shop, and he got his hair cut, and Gene was like, who cut your hair before? They did a good job. He's like, my brother. And he was like, what shop you working? He's like, oh, he just cut at home. Went in, interview, cut, and he put me under the wing. It wasn't no YouTube and all that for me to learn how to cut.
Right.
So I peaked at my house. It was certain things I couldn't get. I didn't, I had no point of reference. So we opened, it was a store that he was letting go because he eventually got Westside Barbershop. Mr. Willie passed on and he got the shop. And then he had opened up another, he had girls in there down the block. So he was losing that lease and we got it. So it was a direct, reference point from our teacher. He taught me and Larry, and we got that location through him.
Oh, that's what's up.
And that was in 1996. And how I got to the point where I am now with 8 locations, I was inspired by a shop at that time in Harlem called Jerry's Den. I don't know if y'all know about it or old enough to know about it, but Jerry had about 10 shops. I asked him actually, how many shops did you have in total? And he told me 10. You know what I mean? And I was inspired by him. My idea was not to open up a barbershop so I could have a job and cut hair. It was always my goal to open up a barbershop so I didn't have to cut hair.
Right.
So that's why I continue to open up shops because I never settle. You know what I mean? So, and it just got easier and easier. You know what I mean? And in total, I've opened up 11 shops, but right now I have 8. And I just purchased a barber school.
Yes.
It's Levels Barber Institute. Look out for that.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So I can finally come and now get my training, right?
No doubt. You know what I mean? Because trust me, being a barber is a very liberating job.
Yes, it is.
Barbershops are always looking to fill their chairs. They're looking for barbers. Not you going. The average job, you're going in there asking for a job, and you fill out an application, and we'll give you a call. You feel me? So you're at the mercy of people. You might work on a job 20 years, and we're firing. We're letting people go.
Right.
You're gone. You know what I mean? So, and you can go anywhere in the world and cut hair.
Sure.
And it's a licensed profession. There's only a certain amount of professions that you need a license, and that's one of them.
Right.
So you're a skilled tradesman, So it's a very respectable job, even though people might not look at it like that. But only because in New York, you see so many people operating without licenses and so on and so forth because the department is in Albany. And New York is a big state, you know what I mean? So they don't have enough people to police all over.
No, not at all.
But if you go to Houston or California or Ohio, these states require you to go to school for 9 months in order to get your license, and the cost is like $20,000. You know what I mean? So
It's like a college.
right,
Like,
because of New York, it is the Wild Wild West is loose. People going and do construction in stores without licenses. This is New York. There's too many people to police. We had in the 5 boroughs, we had like 8.5 million, and that's not even including when you go upstate and Syracuse all the way up to the borders of Canada. You know what I mean? So they don't have enough people to police that. But right now I have 4 shops in Manhattan, 2 in Brooklyn, and 2 in Orange County. New York up, kind of like to give you a reference point. Newburgh and Woodbury. Woodbury Common. So I have 2 up that way. You know what I mean? And the school is in Middletown right now, but before this year is over, we're gonna move it to the city, Manhattan. That's the goal.
Nice.
That's the goal.
Yeah, because I think being an entrepreneur, you have to be very strong-willed. You have to have thick skin. Because, for instance, I've been running an online store for 4 years, and I know the pitfalls of like sometimes business sucks. And you still have to have that thick skin to you know what, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on doing this, saying I know what's going to come out. I know it's going to be okay at the end. So, just salute to you because being an entrepreneur is hard. Running your own business is even harder. It's like having another child. I have 4 plus my business has 5. So, it takes a lot. It's not a joke, and I guess people don't understand it because if you never ran anything in your life, or have that responsibility, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But that's why I'm saluting you because it takes a lot, and you got 8 stores and a school that's gonna open up. That's some shit right there, boy.
Like Rick Ross said, the bosses won't guarantee we gonna eat. You know what I mean? So you have to sell someone on your vision.
Yeah.
You have to encourage. I've trained. I've licensed probably like 60 or more barbers. I'm also a state board examiner. So when people come to take their test to get their license, they got to see me too, And I see guys in there sweating and cutting people with the razor and It's crazy. You know what I mean? But I've watched somebody who I thought could no way be a barber become like the best barber in the shop.
Wow.
So it's all about what you want to do
Yeah.
and how far you willing to take it.
And
Yeah, and another thing, you're not even selfish on giving the gems. Like even at the Bronner Brothers hair show in Atlanta, you did a lot of seminars teaching people like barbers or beauticians about ownership of their own shops and stuff like that, which I've seen you do year in, year out. You know,
And I also had an experience where he even offered,
Right.
training. I'm an example because he offered me,
Right.
offered to train me. How many years ago was that? Like maybe years ago.
And funny how my love for fashion, and let me say this, people who low lifes or whatever who rock low right now, don't get it twisted. Like there's a difference between the people who started paying attention in fashion and buying polo and wearing polo. Everybody else who really were into fashion, we started with other things first. We've like always been into fashion, and then we might have landed at low, but we were rocking all kinds of stuff.
true indeed.
You know what I'm
glad-
saying?
I'm glad you said
And
that
a real
too.
person that's fashionista, they've rocked all kinds of stuff, and that might be their favorite brand. So that's the difference between somebody who got into the game and they bought low, and that's it, and that's all they do is buy low and wear low. We were rocking. I mean, there was a time when Gap was fly too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Guess was fly too. And Tommy Hilfiger was fly too.
True indeed.
And Benetton was fly too. And Willie Ware and Jabot and I mean, so I have a line of t-shirts for barbers. It's called Antique Barber.
Sir.
I've learned how to silk screen and all. I mean, I had people in Japan ordering my Harlem High t-shirt. So my love of fashion led me to create my own brands. You know what I mean? So I've had 2 clothing brands over the course of this time that I had the barbershop. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do the New York City Barber Battle. We've done like 5 events, you know what I mean, with barbers coming from all over the country to compete for trophies and money and vendors, you know what I mean? And then I also have my network on YouTube, Barber World TV. So
sir.
the things that I've loved, cutting hair, fashion, and music, I've done them all, and I continue to do them all. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I always tell people to really make money in the United States, you know what I'm saying? You got to make your own money. So you got to create it yourself.
Scared money don't make.
Having a job is cool, but you're not going to get where you want to be, working for a boss. You have to be your own boss. And, you got to get that fuck you money up. Ain't that right, Stilo?
True, I'm still working. I'm
You know what I'm
almost
saying?
there,
right,
though.
that's what you do.
You got to get it to that point
5-year plan.
where you're making where your money, when you're making money, just sitting down someplace,
Right.
and you're just making money.
Making money while you sleep.
Yep. And
And I'd even thank you, John, because you put me on the stock game.
Oh yeah.
So you're ready. That'll be another conversation.
That's gonna be another conversation, boy.
Nah, real talk.
But anyway.
We'll do a stock and crypto episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that crypto shit I don't believe in. But the stock market, I'm telling you, all you young brothers that making that money, invest. Instead of a Jordan or a polo tee, invest your money, get your dividends up. So then you get to a point where it's like you can do whatever you want, and then you have the access to do whatever you want. Nobody can tell you anything because you'll be making dividends and getting dividend checks. But listen, that's another story.
And
I
even-
mean,
Yeah.
something. It's always a slogan me and Stilo always say that we got from
I experienced
our experiences. It's first plan the work,
facts.
then you work the plan.
Right.
Then after all of that, you can celebrate success.
Exactly.
That's been our motto for son,
Eons.
eons, and we definitely live by that.
And have patience because nothing's gonna happen overnight. And if you gotta, work those 2-3 jobs to get to where you want to get, hey, fuck it, just do it.
True indeed.
And even having our guest here is a perfect example. Trust and believe. I know Kamal for some time. I've seen stores up, stores down, but one thing I give my brother, man, consistency.
That's
Can't
right.
stop, won't stop.
Yeah, well,
That's the motto I give him because, like I said, I've seen every store go up and it's been nothing but success with him, and I salute him properly for that.
And a shout out to all the levels clientele and
Yes,
barbers,
indeed.
and you know,
Yes.
I appreciate the support, the love, the communities that we operate in. You know, just want to give y'all thanks and shout out
salute
too.
Levels
Yeah, I'm
Barbershop.
definitely gonna have to check on your barbershops out because I need a cut. Woo, it's looking woolly over here.
Yo, Prance, one of my top models, man. I did everything on him.
Yes, sir.
He had the
sir.
big flat top. I did the stair steps in his head. I did everything with this. He was like my model at school. They'd be like, yo,
Always.
Steven, who did your haircut?
Real talk.
Always.
talk.
Yeah, so
Always sharp.
for a future episode, we're gonna have to get the whole Ziggy here.
No question.
Oh, definitely.
And we're gonna have to
That would
shoot
be
that
great.
shit. We're gonna have to talk that caca.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gonna happen. We're gonna, talk to Prance because that's the mayor of Flatbush right there.
True indeed.
Church
And,
Ave.
You know,
Chad, watch your mouth.
listen, he's the mayor of Flatbush now. You know, the week he's had,
And he takes honor in that.
he's repping Church
Definitely,
Ave to the
definitely.
fullest.
All
like,
day,
you know
all
what I'm
day,
saying?
all day. Yo, because, it's crazy at that Yo MTV Raps when KRS-One was doing his set. And he was like, yo, hold up. I know a lot of people know me from the Bronx, but, yo, I got to big up Flatbush. Matter of fact, I got to big up Church Ave. When a man like that say that and then go in, the bridge is over, the bridge is over. Yo, it was monumental,
That's when
man.
you sound the horn on them.
Yes.
Listen, Prance could have had a tear in his eye for that shit.
What?
He was like,
What?
Flatbush corner. Well, listen, this was
This
great,
was great.
but we're running out of time.
Yes.
So, Keizo, where can they find you online?
Levelsbarbershop.com, Levels Barbershop on Instagram. All the same things, social media.
There's levels to
Levels
this
Barber, yeah. Levels Barber Institute, too. Same thing.
Okay.
Personally, find me. You know what I'm saying? If you really want me, you can find me. Zoe Mega Millions.
Flatbush corner.
Yes, Prance Low 24/7 on IG, or you can find me on a Flatbush Church Ave corner.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Robbie.
Robbie Fingers, ROBBIEFINGERS, Twitter and Instagram. Probably on Queens Boulevard bullshitting.
Oh, look at this. Jesus. Stilo.
You already know, STELO 1009. This is what we do. Conversation with style. Stay fresh, my friend.
Okay.
Oh, before John, I got a shout out and blessings to my daughter, Sahai, that just came home from college and got her first job at Chipotle.
All right now.
Oh, look at that.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I need a
yes.
burrito wrap there, boy.
Yes.
Big up.
Blessings to her.
Big up, big
Definitely.
up, big up.
All right, John. Sorry about that.
Anyway, that was a good segue.
Thank you.
We still have Been There Rock That pins online on eBay. Double J Vintage is the store. You can purchase one.
sir.
There's only a few left. So,
Very few.
if you want to get, because after these, I think there may be some more coming out. But we're going to focus on another colorway. So you won't be able to get the black ones no more. So, other than that, I did do a new blog post, polopirate.com. Check it out. It's a couple things on there. And this has been a great show. Thank you for Keizo for coming out.
Oh, shout out our
Thank you for
cameraman,
having me.
of course.
Thank you for
in the
Jason
building.
Yes,
for
Jay.
recording. Thank you to Engine Room for having us for another week. And next week is actually my birthday, so we're
Yes,
gonna shoot the shit
sir.
because I'm turning 10. But anyway, this has been the Rock That episode 14.
Yeah, get it right.
I'm getting old. I'm forgetting episodes and shit.
Yeah, we do.
Ciao.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.